And welcome to a very special episode of Pull to Open. This is a brief interstitial episode, as it were. We've been pulled out of our time stream, appropriately enough, after going to Genesis of the Daleks. We thought we were going to Terminus, but no! The Time Lords have pulled us out, and they've forced us to look at where we've been so far and consider our life choices. And basically look at the Pull to Open Codex and take a little bit of stock about the adventures that we've been on so far. And Pete, I just wanted to raise one possibility that concerned me, kind of almost the moment that the randomizer chose Genesis of the Daleks, which is obviously such a classic, beloved episode. It's at the top of a lot of people's top 10 lists. Are we burning through our good stories too quickly? Because, and before we consider that as the question, consider that we've already covered Inferno, Genesis of the Daleks, the Pyramids of Mars, the Talons of Weng Chiang.
That's just classic Who.
Yes, and that's just classic Who. And then from the new stuff, we've got The Girl in the Fireplace, Silence in the Library, The Day of the Doctor, which is we've already peaked as far as I'm concerned with The Day of the Doctor. Still my favorite Doctor Who story. And
we even did. In the pre-randomizer era, we did The Fugitive of the Jadoon, which I think most people think is the best of the Whittaker zone.
So
the Whittaker time zone.
The Whittaker time zone. Yes, we did in our early iteration of Pull to Open not have the randomizer installed, so we covered a lot of Whittaker stories. They are marked as covered in the codex. Beyond that, the randomizer hasn't been choosing Whittaker episodes. We'll decide what happens when it does. But yeah, we've done a total of 38 stories chosen by the randomizer, plus the Whittaker stuff for a total of 42. 42 being the number that it is, the importance to nerds that it has. This is a good moment, I think, for us to stop, to be pulled out of our time stream, and take a look at where we've been, and perhaps consider in chronological order rather than randomizer order. So what do you think, Pete, when you look at the codex now and you see the thick red bars that we filled in of the stories that we've been to, what's your immediate sense of where we're at?
Have we peaked too early? Is a good question. Well, let's kind of look into it. Let's go deep into the codex, which is
we could go doctor by doctor,
and let's do a quick run through of looking at Hartnell here, and I was sort of trying to pick out what are some other sort of, at least from the fan perspective or general conventional wisdom perspective, are some of the more revered shows in the show's serials in the show's history, and see what we got left here, because I think you're right, especially like looking at some of the big three there, like Day of the Doctor, Genesis of the Daleks, and Girl in the Fireplace. I mean, wow, those are some bangers. But looking here, okay, so we have the first two, Unearthly Child and the Daleks, some classics there,
both considered classics.
Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Well, we should say what we have done from Hartnell so far, which is the Sensorites, the Rescue, and the final serial, The 10th Planet.
The 10th Planet, yeah. I mean, that's again sort of helping make the case of possibly peaking too early, because that was
the randomizers bring us, if not classic in terms of story, then at least classic in terms of introducing the second biggest baddies.
But you in this era, you have the ones I mentioned with the Daleks serials in particular, and the Dalek Invasion of Earth, such a landmark. Moving on to Troughton, we still have we've only done the Crotons, but
it's extraordinary.
And there's Evil of the Daleks, there's Tomb of the Cybermen still to do,
Power of the Daleks,
and the War Games. So there's some stuff there. What I'm worried about a little bit is honestly Pertwee, because Inferno is kind of widely considered probably the best of that entire era. And we already, it was like the first one we did.
Yeah, it was our first Pertwee.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing Doctor Who and the Silurians again. It's one of my favorites from the classic era, from the Pertwee era. But after that, you're a little like, pick them, right? Like whatever.
Well,
I'm happy to see more Pertwee, but is there something other than the Three Doctors, which is really more notable for obvious reasons than it being like an amazing story?
I do love the
Um,
Three Doctors. I also love Carnival of Monsters, which immediately comes after it.
True, that's a good one.
Um, Not actually,
Yeah.
Pertwee's one of those doctors that I'm just really super not familiar with. And there are going to be a lot of these that I am looking forward to jumping into with a little bit of trepidation because their reputation.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it really Pertwee and Troughton definitely getting short shrift from the randomizer.
Well, I think
But
if we look at Tom Baker, which is such
yes,
a long,
who is certainly not getting
um,
short shrift.
yeah, we've done a lot of them. I mean, he did a lot of them, but I mean, I think here it might be a good litmus test on whether we're peaking too early or not, because we have done a
Mhm.
lot of what people consider the classics. I mean, think about it. We've done Genesis of the Daleks,
Yep.
we've done Pyramids of Mars, we've done The Deadly Assassin, The
Hmm.
Talons of Wang Chang, um, and I
Yeah,
guess
that's definitely the
that's
first tier of Baker stuff that we've
that
done, and then
we've
there's
done we've done a bunch of others, but those are
yeah,
like, like there's a few others in here that I think are essential canon that I would
yeah,
consider, which is like Robots of Death and A City of Death, of course. There's always death
yeah.
in the title.
The
Are and then
randomizer doesn't like death.
then there's the last couple in his of the Keeper of Traken and Legopolis, and then that's kind of like, there's other stuff in here that's good, but if we were to hit those, a good chunk of those in the next little while, it's a little like, oh.
Yeah. So let's actually count it up in what we've done so far. What's on the good side from Baker, just from Tom Baker,
Yeah.
and what's on the not so good side. So let's see, Genesis Pyramids, uh, let's say Deadly Assassin, Talons, um, and that's it. Those four,
Hmm.
right? And then on the not so good, we've got Planet of Evil, uh, Invisible Enemy, Image of the Fendal, Androids of Tara, State and Decay. Five.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Although some of
yeah,
those, yeah, I mean, when you say not so good, it's more like they're not the bangers that the other ones are. I mean,
yes.
some of them are better
They're
and
not
good, but
Viscount bangers, to use a
yes.
favorite Lala Ward based name. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think Baker overall, it's sort of like if you've got a 5-4 split, if, roughly half of what we've done is the really classic good stuff, I feel like Baker is more evenly spread than that in terms of like a lot of these other stories are middling.
Yeah, I was trying to get at like the portion of the absolute Viscount bangers,
Mm,
and I think it is a little more than 50% that we've done in the
yeah,
Tom Baker era, and we certainly haven't done 50% of Baker episodes.
we
So
haven't. Not even close.
yeah, we're in danger.
We're danger,
Right.
danger, Will Robinson. We have a lot of middling Tom Baker coming up.
That said, let's skip to Davison,
Hmm.
and we've done a bunch of Turlo episodes, and that's about
Yeah.
it.
In Davison, we've
Um,
done Mordred Undead, King's Demons, Planet of Fire, and we're about to do Terminus.
yeah, so we've left out um, Earthshock,
Yep.
Kinda, and Snake Dance,
Mm-hmm.
the Five Doctors,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Caves of Androzani, which is
Mm.
very conventional wisdom, is that it's he peaks right at the end in
Right.
terms of
Right.
Davison stuff. So there's a lot. It's more of a split there. In other words, I don't think we've done with maybe Modern Undead. You could make a case because of its nostalgia is one of them, but the what's considered the top Davison stuff, we haven't really done any of them.
Yeah, we haven't.
Yeah.
Um, and in terms of Colin Baker, it's well, I don't want to mean to Colin, but like, what is the good stuff here? What is the best Colin Baker story?
It's a very good question, and we
Hmm.
should answer it right now.
Immediately,
I'm going to go with Mark of the Rani. Why not? Or Vengeance on
sure.
Varos. One of those. Those are both very kind of unique in their own way.
Yeah.
And they
Um,
all have a lot sort of to recommend them. But Vengeance on Varos, that's probably Vengeance on Varos. Again, I think we'd have to watch it.
yeah.
But in
You may
terms of
reconsider.
its metaphor for a lot of different things, and the show itself at sometimes,
Hmm.
it's very clever. Um,
For me, it's going to be Trial of a Time Lord Mind Warp.
hmm.
As soon as we
Hmm.
get Brian Blessed in. I think it's going to be a whole different story. Is that
Yeah.
is that the Brian Blessed one, or is that Terror
That
of
is
the
the Brian
Furfoids?
Blessed one.
Okay.
So there's lots to do there.
Yeah.
So we haven't peaked with him. We haven't done any McCoys,
Yeah.
and there
No
are
McCoys, no
definitely
McGann, no Eccleston.
there's Viscount bangers to be had on McCoy and Eggleston. Absolutely.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's a few classics in waiting.
For sure. Definitely that whole Eccleston season is just banger after banger.
And then we jump to Tennant, and we've already done School Reunion, The Girl in the Fireplace, and The Idiot's Lantern.
And Silence in the Library Forest of the Dead, and Midnight.
That's right. That's true. And those, even though I think going into Midnight, we were... I was definitely not expecting the fan reaction to that one. Even though I like it, it is considered a classic, I think, by a bunch of our listeners, which is great. But that again lends have we done the best of Tennant already? I don't know what's left. We have
we've still haven't done Blink.
Blink, yep.
Yeah, we haven't done Human Nature, Family of Blood. We haven't done Utopia, Sound of Drums, the very sound that opens our show.
Waters of Mars.
Yeah.
So there's some
Turn Left.
Peaks. Turn Left, yep.
Yeah, I think you and I may disagree about what the best Tennant stuff is. I'm not a big fan of Waters of Mars, but yeah. And then Matt Smith, we've barely touched him.
Yeah, there's lots going on there. We haven't even done the 11th Hour.
Yeah.
Pandorica, Big Bang.
Yeah.
The Doctor's Wife.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Yeah, Let's Kill Hitler. I like a lot of the Matt Smith era, and we've barely scratched it. We've done Closing Time, but not The Lodger. Haven't touched Vincent and the Doctor. We're just going to need a huge pile of Kleenex by the podcast when we do that. Yeah.
So what about Capaldi, who is the randomizer's favorite companion? It's good we're coming here. Like, what is the best? Like, what is the top stuff? We haven't done Zygons.
Yeah, Zygon
We
Invasion.
haven't done Heaven Sent.
We have not. Definitely the best Capaldian chosen as the best by Lisa Stern when she came on for Day of the Doctor. That was her favorite story. Mummy on the Orient Express, another Capaldi favorite.
Yeah.
We haven't
Flatline.
done
I personally like Flatline. It's a lot of people like that one
fun. So then, at the same time, we also haven't done the Return of Dr. Mysterio. Although we've covered a lot of the Christmas episodes, and we did a special look at all the Christmas episodes. So yeah, I think
we've counted quite a few. So it really depends on, and again, Whitaker, I think we talked about Jadoon. I think some people like Kerblam. Some of the others, I don't think we have enough distance from to to judge on whether they're
Demons
classic.
of the Punjab. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing again.
Yeah. So I don't know. I do feel like there's a lot left, but it is there are some of the top ones, like really in the top 5 that we have done, that I don't know if you could ever get back your top 5. So yeah.
So I think the conclusion is that the Doctor we're most worried about is Tom Baker.
Yeah, I think and using him as a proxy for the rest a little bit, which is kind of valid. I think it really depends on how much the randomizer takes us through the rest of his canon, his top stuff.
Indeed, and I'm just going to add a special historical note here that we are recording this before the Legend of the Sea Devils. However, I have just entered the Legend of the Sea Devils into the Codex because we will not be using the Codex again until after it is screened. So we are now officially up to 300 stories.
300, and it's going to stay that way for a while.
It is.
I'm excited.
It is, because we don't have any dates for the next Doctor Who specials after that, right?
No. Actually, I'm not even sure how many there are. I just know that this is, I imagine it's going to be a little like Tennant when he was out for a year, and then there was
just specials all over the place.
Yeah, there was like an Easter special, and then there was, wait a minute, what was after? No, wait, the Waters of Mars, then there was the Easter special. I forget the order.
You know what I think the randomizer... You know what I think the randomizer is leaving till last is Extremis, because Extremis would prove that the randomizer is actually alive and we're living in a simulation.
Oh yeah, that's the Extremis was the hardest choice to
Yeah,
shave off in terms
shave
of
off
that. Is
from
that a
Pyramid.
trilogy?
Yeah,
Is it? Yeah, but we decided it's just so standalone, such a nice little tight story. It deserved to be judged on its
indeed.
own. Yeah, I think we got to put our faith in the randomizer. It has a plan for us. All the episodes have a reason. The
Why
through
does it sound like
lines.
that's dialogue from a Doctor Who character right before they get annihilated by a Dalek?
Well, I was just watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where he has to take that leap of faith at the end,
Hmm.
and it was all there was a bridge there the whole time, and you just gotta treat this journey like that. We're gonna get to the other side, Chris, and it's going to be okay. We'll
we are
find that cup on the
certainly
other side.
we are certainly like 38, 42 episodes in uh of a planned 300 episode show, not counting these special interstitial episodes. We're definitely at that stage of like we've just put our first foot out there on the invisible bridge,
Yeah.
and we are, the camera is pulling back to reveal that it is an invisible bridge. So yeah, we have many, many steps ahead of us. I'm sad that we've done nearly all the great bakers,
Yeah.
nearly all. But I think you're right that overall we have not done too many hashtag bangers to kind of make the rest of our journey a dull one. So there's plenty of good surprises to come.
I can't wait to see who we go to next. Okay.
I got that reference.
All right. That'll do us for this special episode of Pull to Open. Thanks, as always, for listening. And please leave a review on whatever podcast app you may be listening on. And tune in next time for when we resume our regular programming for Terminus, visiting
Indeed.
Terminus.
In the meantime, we'll see you on TikTok and all the socials.
All right. Take care, guys.